Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
We're going to have some fun right now. We got a piece of music we're going to hear. We're going to meet a lot of young people doing some really cool things in our community. And thank you for tuning into The Source. WOCA. Kirsten Kennedy is here.
Hi.
Are you Kirsten? There.
I am.
Well, nice to meet you, Kirsten.
Nice to meet you as well.
You are the education director at the Ocala Civic Theater and the director of the stage musical 13.
That is correct.
Which is what we're focusing on today.
Absolutely.
You are a colorful lady.
Oh, thank you.
Are you an actress yourself?
Yes, indeed, I was.
Wow, look at you. You are, you're vibrant. You've got so much energy.
So much.
You like this all the time?
It's not me, really.
It's not you? You're possessed?
With caffeine.
With caffeine.
Of course. That's where all of the energy comes from.
Wow.
Well, really, and I really love what I do. I'm very lucky.
Well, Kirsten, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well.
I'm surprised we never bumped into you before.
Well, I will be happy to bump into you.
Were you very demure before or something?
Oh, never.
Never?
Oh, never.
All right, so that wasn't you.
No.
Okay.
No one would ever use that adjective to describe me.
All right, and sitting to your right, are you Shane?
Yep, that's me.
And you're the music director.
Yes.
Shane Bass or Bass?
Bass.
Bass, okay. Well, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
As the music director, what does that mean?
I am responsible for teaching the cast all of the music at the show. I'm also responsible for hiring the band that plays along with the show, and then during the performances, I will be playing and conducting the band to the live music for the cast.
Okay. I've got so many questions for all of you, but let me just go down the list first. And is it Mary?
Yes.
Mary, is it Cupertino?
Cupertino.
Well, nice to meet you. You're a pretty young lady. How are you? You are Kendra in the play?
Yes, I am.
All right. And so you're an actress. Are you a singer also?
Yes, I am.
See, it sounds like this has to be a singer, actor, actress kind of a thing, right?
Yep.
This whole show. So we're gonna ask you some more. And Corey Watson, you play Evan in the show?
Yes, I do.
And I've got a soundbite from you. Can I play that?
Yeah, go ahead.
How come I don't hear you so well? Now try and talk.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Now here is a soundbite. Does anybody want to tell me what this is?
This is the opening song of 13.
This is the opening song.
Yep.
All right. And this is Corey playing Evan.
You got it.
Do I have that right? Okay. And hold on. Here we go.
Picturing the Bronx pretzels on the street, just how good can it get? Who'd have guessed Dad would meet a stewardess? Mom's depressed and her lawyers are mean. Now I'm stressed, life is a disaster and I'm cracking from the strain, going totally insane. And I'm just about to turn 13. Everything switches. 13. Everything turns around. 13. End up in stitches. 13. Hide away underground. 13. Can I get through it? 13. Life has changed overnight. 13. How do I do it? 13. Nothing is going right.
The best and the worst and the most and the least and the crazy and the scary and I'm standing on the edge.
Wow, that sounds like Broadway to me. Wow, very good. What, Dad meets a stewardess? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Dad meets a stewardess. Doesn't that happen to all of us? I mean, don't we? Yeah, all right. And so we've got more questions. And then at the end, Shannon, are you Shannon Devon?
Yes, sir.
I feel like I've met you before, have I?
Maybe.
How are you doing? And you play Malcolm?
Well. Yes, sir.
And you're a singer also, an actor
Yes.
and a singer? Okay, well, wow, this is awesome. And that was wonderful music. It's just wonderful. And behind you, let's see, Danny Watson, you're Corey's brother. Somewhere over there, and Brian Watson is Corey's dad somewhere over there. Oh, over here, this side. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming in. All right. So, Kirsten, let's come back to you first. Who wrote this musical?
This musical is written by in my humble opinion, one of the greatest contemporary musical theater composers, Jason Robert Brown.
Okay.
Who also wrote Songs for a New World, Last 5 Years, Parade, The Bridges of Madison County, which unfortunately just closed, but the music is brilliant because he is a genius.
Okay.
And so the theater's never done anything by Jason Robert Brown, and I feel like it's super important in my position to expose these young guys to contemporary composers in musical theater.
So this is what you've studied all your life? I mean, this is something you're into.
Oh, yeah.
And how do you study stuff like this? Is it on records or DVDs, or where is this stuff?
Yeah, it's on records, it's on YouTube, it's on everywhere. I mean, I was very lucky in the fact that my parents took me, I lived in Connecticut, they took me to New York ever since I was like 6.
Right.
And so
what was your first play? Do you remember?
Was Annie on Broadway.
Okay.
Was the very first play I went to. Yes, the original production. I'm not going to tell you the date.
What character did you play?
Oh, well, that was the first show I saw. The first play I did, was when I was in kindergarten, and I was the narrator in The Three Little Pigs.
The narrator?
Yes.
I bet you were really good at that, too, right?
Oh, yeah. I can talk.
Did you take liberties with it? Did you take liberties? You did?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did the wolf win in the end, or no?
Well, it's kind of a dry story. You got to add a little pizzazz, which I did.
What happened?
Shane, I have a musical question for you.
Okay.
What's the biggest challenge when you're working with a group of singers? What's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, especially with a community theater, is knowing the level of experience with every single person in the cast. For me, I always have 3 groups. I have my music readers, and those are the people that have done music for a long time. I have the people who know that when the dots go up and down, you go up and down, so they kind of know what's going on. And then I have the people who think that it's just a bunch of pretty pictures on a page. So you have to know what groups you're with so that you know how to explain things to those people, because you're not going to talk in music terms to the entire cast when the entire cast is not going to understand.
I got you.
They're not going to keep the focus and pay attention to everything. So that's the first biggest challenge, and then it's just finding a way to get them to understand how to practice, how to keep the music going once they start learning everything else.
So when you have a whole show ahead of you and you have to have the big picture in mind during the casting part of this, right? I mean, you keep in mind somebody who's going to sing with somebody else, and will they work together vocally?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Will they understand the harmonies and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, you have to. There's a difference between, of course, the ensemble parts and then the more lead parts, especially if they're going to be singing by themselves or with 1 or 2 other people. You have to make sure that they have the ability to do it. Now, they don't have to be the most amazing person in the beginning, because you can teach them a lot in the short amount of time, which we've had the opportunity to do with this cast.
Right.
But you have to really know the show ahead of time. You have to know all the characters. You have to know all the songs. You have to know how high people sing, how low people sing, how much they have to do. Like Corey playing Evan, for instance, sings the entire show the entire time in a range that's probably too high for him. So we've made sure that we are able to get him to a place where he needs to be so that he doesn't hurt himself, but also is able to perform.
So you change him, or you change the score?
We change a little bit of both.
Okay.
Teaching him how to handle himself in those songs, which you don't think about, because the voice is a muscle. The vocal cords are a muscle, and you have to train it like a muscle. So just like you would to run a race or to lift weights, you have to do the same thing with singing. So you train them the right way, and then modify songs to help. So
Right. It's amazing when you listen to somebody famous when they were younger, how their voice has changed as they got older too. So it is interesting. So real quick question for the two of you before we get to the actors and actress. Yeah. In the musical chorus line, I'm sure you both know it. The big thing that I took away from that story was that the actors and actresses who try out for this often feel dejected because somebody else gets the part for superficial reasons. They've got good body parts, in other words. Does that apply to local theater or not so much?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
We try to, in the community, we try to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to do something. Okay. But, when you have someone who...
But that's the important word, according to the musical, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if you have in the song someone talking about them being short and stocky, you need a short and stocky person. You can change those words, those adjectives, to something else.
Oh, really?
You can't. You're not supposed to. But it's happened, and it just depends. If there is no one to do that part, then you do what you can.
Godzilla could look like King Kong, in other words.
That's a creative decision that we are entitled to.
Okay, so all right. So you don't have any disgruntled people who have applied for the part who say, you know what, if I just could get a better derriere. I mean, you don't have that?
That's right.
I really hope that I'm not passing that message on to my students because that's so not what I want them to come away with.
You can buy them in the store, you know.
Oh, that's right. You
That's
can
right,
now.
yes, you can.
Hurrah. But it's unfortunately, we all know theater's a vicious business.
Hey. Sorry. I'm sorry.
And that, it really sometimes does come down to something as simple as, well, these guys both can sing, they both can act, they both can dance, they're awesome, but this one over here is 2 inches taller and they're going to match up with our lead better, and that's what makes the final call. And it's heartbreaking as an educator, but that's what I'm teaching them, man.
I'm loving this conversation. We have to take a little break, and we'll be right back. And again, if you're just tuning in, we are learning about a musical that is at the Ocala Civic Theater called 13, right? And it starts soon. We're going to get all those details when we come back. This is The Source, WOCA.
Your weekends are getting a little retooled.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. We are Force. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
We are Force.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Men, do you know your testosterone level? Are you experiencing decreased energy levels or unusual sleeping problems? Have you noticed you have less strength or endurance, decreased sex drive, increased irritability or depression? If so, you may be experiencing problems with low testosterone. If you're interested in a free testosterone screening, please call Renstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. Again, that number is 352-629-5800.
Picture me, just another cool kid in NYC, near the park and the Mets. Life is sweet, Yankees and the Bronx, pretzels on the street, just how good can it get? Who'd have guessed Dad would meet a stewardess? Mom's depressed and her lawyers are mean. Now I'm stressed, life is a disaster and I'm cracking from the strain, going totally insane. And I'm just about to turn 13. Everything switches. 13. Everything turns around. 13. End up in stitches. 13. Hide away underground. 13. Can I get through it? 13. Life has changed overnight. 13. How do I do it? 13. Nothing is going right.
The best and the worst and the most and the least and the crazy and the scary and I'm standing on the edge.
Wow.
All right, that was great.
That's exhausting just hearing it. I can't wait to see it.
The musical 13 plays at the Ocala Civic Theater July 31st through August 3rd. Boy, it's such a short time span for something that sounds so wonderful. Gosh, why? Why don't we make this longer? Why is it so short-lived?
We're so busy at the theater. We have so many shows and so many events,
Lots to do.
We want to get it all in.
How long do you actually rehearse for this?
We started rehearsing at the end of June. I think it was a 6-week rehearsal process.
Okay, so this is like Thanksgiving dinner. It takes like 10 days to make it and 20 minutes to eat it, right?
Right. You got it.
It takes so long. All right.
As is pretty much all theater, I think.
Corey, let's go to you first. You're singing in this. You sing a lot in this, and you're supposed to be 13. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, that's the idea. Or no, actually, I'm 12 until the very end of the show.
Oh, okay. And did that? I mean, were you? In order to get into the role, I'm not an actor. I mean, how do you do this? Do you go back to when you were 12 in your mind?
Bit. I'm not that much of a method actor, so that's...
Is that what that means when you do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
method actors are people who get really into their character and pretend to be them.
And that's your dad over there, right?
Yes.
Does he still look like he did when he was 12?
Oh, exactly. Haven't changed.
Or haven't changed at all, huh?
No, not at all.
All right. And is this something that you will pursue in the future? Is acting and singing? And
Maybe... Like, I enjoy doing it as a hobby, but as far as like careers go, it's a very difficult industry to work in.
Smart guy. Smart.
So-
Good job, Dad. Yeah, it's something that you could be attracted to, and then find yourself wishing you never were attracted to it. So, not to discourage anybody. That's wonderful. I mean, where would we be without the arts? But at the same time, you got to be real, right? So, what are you studying to do?
I want to go into robotics.
Oh, that is cool.
Excellent choice.
Well, you know what a waiter told me one time? A waiter told me, I hate when people say, what do you really want to do? Because this guy liked waiting.
Exactly.
You know, so,
I want to wait tables. That's what I'm doing, man.
Yeah. Well, Corey, you sound great. I so much appreciate the fact that you've come in here. Mary, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And you started singing. Where are you from?
I'm from Claremont, actually.
Claremont. Okay. You've got such a brightness to you.
Thank you.
So, were you an actress when you were very, very young?
I've actually, theater's kind of been my life since I was 4.5.
Oh, there you go. So, how does theater become your life at 4.5?
Well, my parents decided that they didn't want me to just sit around the house and do nothing.
I'm glad you said to sit around the house. Because if you said they just didn't want me, that would have made me sad.
We would have taken her. We'd take her.
Okay. So they didn't want you to sit around the house, and
Well, and then so they found out that our community theater was doing a show, and it was The Wizard of Oz, and they signed me up, and I was a poppy flower.
a flower.
How cute.
And after that, I just never stopped.
Oh wow!
Good for you.
You actually enjoyed being a poppy flower.
I did. I was very excited.
Have you ever gone to the the MGM Studios or whatever it's called down in Orlando, and you go through that Wizard of Oz part of that ride?
I have.
Do you have say that's me? I played that part. Do you point to the poppy
right there? That's me.
So you sing also?
I do.
And is that something you enjoy doing?
Yes, it
Do you
is.
play guitar?
I do not.
No. Do you play guitar?
No, I've tried to learn before, but
Oh, okay.
it's not
I just think when you have singing skills, you should have something to accompany yourself with. You do.
Oh, you do. Good for you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does it come in handy when you show up on stage?
Not necessarily in theater. I mean, it's a nice skill to have. I play it for fun. But
Okay.
yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And just if you're listening, that's Shannon Devon.
Yes.
And you play Malcolm.
Yes.
So what's your story? How far back do you go in showbiz?
in the biz. Well,
Yeah.
I actually started doing theater in middle school. It wasn't my English teacher, but she was an English teacher at Fort King Middle School. She got me into doing shows there, and I just loved it. I've loved it ever since, and I started doing it in high school, and then I came to Ocala Civic Theater last fall and did Les Mis, and I loved it at Ocala Civic Theater, so I've just been doing it, and I love it. And
Did
it's
you
my
play the
passion.
young boy in Les Mis? Which
A young-
character did you play?
I was one of the revolutionary students. So yeah.
Yeah, that was an excellent show,
It was
and
fun.
you really stood out, I must say. You did great job.
Robin goes to everything.
job.
Robin goes to all the shows. So if
Thank
you've
you,
been in a
Robin.
show at the Civic Theater, she has seen you.
I have season tickets.
She doesn't recognize you. She doesn't recognize you when you walk past the window here.
No, I don't.
But she has seen you. So when you're on the stage for the first time, that's a nice theater over there, and it's usually packed. Is there stage fright involved, or does that not happen for you guys?
I feel like it just depends on how you handle it. There goes the guy. I just feel like it depends on how you handle it. I mean, I've always had stage fright, at least to some degree. I mean, at every show. But I think when we're doing a run of a show, once it gets past 3 or 4 shows, I'm not even worried about it anymore. But I feel like it's different for everybody. Frank Sinatra said he was nervous on his last show he ever did. But
Well, I'd be too if it was my last show. Jeez.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean. But
Hope I don't
think it's
forget
just-
any words.
I think it's just in how you handle it. I think it's absolutely in how you handle it.
Corey and Mary.
Yes.
Do you have a relationship on stage?
No, we have one
you, Hug.
scene where we interact,
Yeah,
and
it's the
that's
most
really it.
awkward scene in the whole show.
It's hilarious.
Awkward for you or awkward for the audience?
For us.
For you.
Yeah.
How old are you supposed to be?
I'm supposed to be 13, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You're the older woman.
Did anybody here fall in love when they were 12 or 13? Did this actually happen to anybody?
We actually were talking about this in rehearsal, and I, slammed down my theory that
you had a crush. You had a crush. I
well,
could
you
see
have
it.
a crush, but
You did.
at 12,
Yeah.
13, like
Yeah.
what they think is love isn't love.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, but it's what you got at the moment.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But we tried to sort of explain that it's like, you guys think that it's love, but trust me, you really don't know yet.
And is that what's exuded in the characters throughout the whole thing? Are there like little crushes going on at the audience?
Oh, yes. Yes. All over the place, actually.
Now, does it say somewhere that it's PG rated? Is that
PG-13.
PG-13. Now, what does that mean?
Well, there is. I mean, the concept of the show is that it's the 13-year-olds when there are no adults around and how they behave and how they speak,
okay.
and so it's it's not anything worse than what you would see on like primetime TV. I mean, there's a couple of words, but nothing terrifying. And then it's because they're hitting puberty and they're discovering
different things.
Love that they think is love. So there's that element to it as well. And we just, we want people to be aware when they're coming in. Obviously, I never would have chosen this show if I didn't think it was an awesome show and appropriate.
Yeah.
But, I want parents to be aware of the content of the show before they decide to bring their 8-year-old.
You are a colorful person.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
And now the band is a character in itself. Will it be featured on stage, or will you be in the pit? Where will it be?
We're actually behind the stage for the whole show process, but then we have a little fun number that we get to do where the curtain will come up and they'll actually get to see the band. And actually,
really?
Yeah, and I have one assistant that's helping me with the band process, but then everybody else is students, not necessarily 13 age. I've got 2 14-year-olds in the show, including Corey's brother, who's playing in it. And then I have 2 college-age students that really haven't ever done anything like this before. So it's an educational opportunity for them to experience what musical theater is like, because the orchestra or the band process is not nearly as extensive. We get 1 day of rehearsal by ourselves, 1 day of rehearsal with the cast, and then we start the dress rehearsal process with the whole show. So we don't get that much time, and that was the opportunity that I was wanting to give them, especially.
Do you allow during the dress rehearsal special groups to come in to see you perform that might be interested in theater as a major to see how you're doing things?
Traditionally at the Civic Theater, we do have a student night that we do for the main stage shows. So all the shows that are in the normal season, the Wednesday before opening night, which is the cast's final dress rehearsal, they'll allow the high school age and college age students to come watch, to experience it. It gives them a chance to see what live theater is like, plus it gives the cast a chance to see what their show is going to be like with an audience.
Wow.
Wow.
For the education department, we don't really get as many opportunities, especially because we have such a short run.
By the way, there's a Broadway and there's an off-Broadway, and I grew up in New York, but I had no clue what those 2 terms meant. Robin went to New York and did a tour, and do you guys know what off-Broadway actually is defined as?
I'm embarrassed because I should know off the top of my head. It's a certain, area on the map, on the grid that's Broadway,
No,
and then...
I would have thought that too. Robin, what is off-Broadway?
We learned it was the number of seats.
Number of seats.
Really?
Which means the
Number of
Ocala
seats.
Civic Theater, what is it? Is off-Broadway.
Yeah.
And that makes way
Because
more
it's
sense,
300
actually,
seats,
because
yeah.
last time I was in New York, New World Stages, which is in the theater district, is counted as off-Broadway, and it confused me, because I was like, but it's in the grid area, what?
It's the number
It's
of
the
seats.
seats.
Which means that the
Amazing.
Ocala
I'm so
Civic Theater is
ashamed.
off-Broadway.
That's
It totally is, man.
You guys
Come
are
to
right.
see our off-Broadway show,
Just
yo.
from now on, use it on your resume. I've appeared in the off-Broadway production of 13.
Done. I will support that, everyone. Put me as a reference.
So the show starts July 31st and runs through August 3rd. You all are very, very talented, and I just feel that energy from this room right now. So, which I don't know what that means, except that I'm just saying something that I don't even know what I mean.
But if you can feel it in here, it's gonna hit you in the face in the theater next week, man. It's gonna blow you away.
Are you married?
Keep it all day.
No, I'm not.
No?
No, I'm not, Ocala. Hey.
He's not either.
Just kidding.
Well,
Just kidding.
whoever marries you is going to have a fun life.
I completely agree. That poor guy.
Kirsten Kennedy, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Please don't be a stranger. Keep coming back. Shane Bass? Bass, I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming in. Mary Cupertino, thank you. Good luck with everything you do. Corey Watson, you are outstanding. And Shannon Devon, thank you. And Dad and brother, Brian and Danny, thank you both for coming in here. We need to take a little break, and we'll be back.
Ocala,
This is The Source,
Gainesville,
WOCA.
Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.